Chewie, we're home. Hey everybody, we're Movie Herd. I'm Chan.
And I'm Kyle, and today we are going to be talking about Episode 7 of the Star Wars franchise.
Yes. Who knew that we would ever be talking about Episode 7 in our lifetime, right?
Several years ago, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would have known,
Yeah, that would be weird. I think once Disney bought Star Wars or Lucasfilms, they're just like, boom.
Okay, they're going to make another one.
We knew they were going to make, because it's what they do.
Why would they would make, they wouldn't have bought it if they weren't going to make another one.
This movie has been very interestingly received, though. Some people like it. Some people didn't like it. When I first saw this movie, I saw it 3 times in theaters. Each time I saw it in theaters, I liked it less. And I didn't like it to begin with, to be honest, because it just didn't feel like a Star Wars movie. That was my initial thought of it, is I just didn't like it.
For me, it was the opposite. Like, when I first watched it, like, whoa, this is great. Yes. I was like, just high on life at that point. I was like, yes. Like, I felt like I was on cloud 9 after I watched it. I thought it was so good, and I kept watching it, and it started to like teeter off, and it was like, oh no, like this is a soft episode 4 reboot, and I felt like it's still a great movie, and it's perfect for today's audience, and it felt like it had a lot to do. So it had to have a lot of fan service for us old school fans. It also had to introduce Star Wars to a new generation. So it did that. I mean, it's got like 93-95% on Rotten Tomatoes, like really well achieved.
I'm not sure it deserves that. I actually like it better now than when I watched it in theaters.
It's like the opposite. Yeah.
I know, I've done the complete opposite. I like it better now, just because I think I've learned what they were trying to do. But they just didn't quite get there, Like, they didn't quite get it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things, though, that I didn't like about it originally when I watched it in theaters. And we usually don't like to talk about bad things right off the bat. I want to start with bad things, if that's okay with you.
I don't mind. Yeah, I've got plenty of bad things about this movie.
I do not like Finn. I didn't like him the first time, second time, third time. I still don't like Finn. And it's not that the actor is a bad actor. What's his name?
John Boyega.
Yeah, John Boyega. He's not a bad actor. I've seen him in one other thing, and I really liked him in that. He wasn't in it a whole ton, but I liked him because his acting was good. I don't think he's a bad actor. I just think maybe he was really excited to be there, and he was so excited and so like about everything. Like when Rey was, he's like, Rey! It's like, dude, nothing you can yell right now is going to stop what is happening to Rey. Nothing, absolutely nothing, and I do kind of understand.
You're gonna pop a vein, dude. Seriously. I felt like he was gonna pop a vein in his throat or something. I was like, And like, people probably could argue, oh well, he was a stormtrooper. Well, not a stormtrooper, but a stormtrooper. What do they call him? The defected stormtrooper.
The defected whatever.
Yeah.
Like he was raised to be like that, or he was raised to be like a killer, and so he's emotionally disturbed or whatever. None of the other stormtroopers were ever emotionally disturbed. We haven't really met any of the other troopers, whatever they call them now. I don't know what they call them now, but we haven't met
FNs.
FNs. We haven't met any of the other ones yet. Mm-hmm. But
instead of TKs, FNs, but TK's so much cooler.
Yeah, I just don't think they're generally like Finn. He's so excited about like everything, and so energetic. It's just
I'll counter that for you. So, it's because he's in this brand new world. I mean, he's like a baby again, He's a fish out of water. So he's going to be excited about everything, right?
No.
Or he's just like, whoa, a girl. I've never seen a girl before. Just kidding. No, I'm sure he's seen girls. But, like, he's just so excited. And in a way, the best thing about Finn, I think, is he's like a fan. He's a fan and that's been put into the Star Wars world. That's the kind of cool thing about him. It's like if any of us were thrown into Star Wars, we'd be like that too. Wow, I'm shooting in the Millennium Falcon. That's what it felt like. I thought that was kind of cool, but that's probably what you don't like.
Well, on the same time, that might have been exciting like in theaters for like fans across the world. But the thing is, that's not going to be timeless.
Yeah.
It's not going to be timeless. Mm-hmm. It's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse because of that. Let's go away from Finn now because we just...
Whoa, there you go. Well, hey, Jar Jar Binks actually has a has more purpose than Finn does.
Oh my word! Yes, he does. Finn has like zero purpose.
Yeah.
He doesn't move the story along at all.
Jar Jar moves the story along, and without him, he wouldn't have been able to hook up with the army at the end.
That being said, he did get Poe out. Mm-hmm. So I guess he helped a little bit at the beginning, but the rest of the movie, he does nothing. Finn does nothing, and Poe. I wish he would have been in more of the movie.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see him in The Last Jedi.
Love to see more Poe. I mean, obviously, I'm dressed like Poe. Got Poe's gun. out of the 3 new characters, Poe's probably my favorite.
I like him too a lot.
Even though he was like in it not very long, but
he didn't have much competition, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, it was Kylo Ren, Finn, Rey, and Poe were like the new characters, and Kylo Ren was just, he had like these fits all the time.
Tantrum, run!
Yeah, and it was just like, what? And I just don't think he was relatable to anybody. Poe, I feel like, was maybe the most relatable. And the funny thing was, he was actually quite energetic as well, but he wasn't as energetic as Finn was, and like kind of just weird about everything. My favorite parts of Finn were maybe when he was like lying about who he was, and then he said he was like part of the rebellion.
That was funny.
Like, I thought it was hilarious, and I love how Rey just didn't quite get it. There's a lot. I
love how Han Solo saw right through that.
Oh yeah.
And I love how he's like, women, well, they find out anything. They'll find out everything. So, and then he would call him, "Are you okay there? Big deal." Like, he'd call him Big Deal. Like, it's like, I'm a big deal, and he would
all right, big deal.
All right, big deal. Like, here you go.
That was so good, and I love how he kind of like took on Han Solo took on like Rey's almost kind of daughter-ish
as a father, father figure,
and it was kind of nice because we didn't really get to meet any of Rey's family, and so we got a glimpse of maybe what Han would be like as a father to her.
Han Solo was the Ben Kenobi of this movie. Isn't that? Who would have known?
Who would have guessed?
Go back to, rewind to 1977, where he was the kind of the stuck-up pirate guy who'd make fun of the Force and make fun of Obi-Wan. Like, why'd you dig up that old fossil? And then now he is the old fossil, and he is being Ben for that film. And there's a formula now. There's been 6 films up until this point, and for every first installment of each trilogy, there was an old mentor that would pass away. So Ben Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, and now respectively Han Solo. Who would have known that he would have been the one to make the sacrifice, and he was that one. And then now Luke's gonna be Yoda in the next one. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought maybe Luke would have been the obvious one, but I'm kind of glad how they went that way.
And I think it was something a little different because one, Han Solo's not a Jedi. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say that this movie is a lot like A New Hope. There are some pretty convincing characteristic points in the story and the plot that are very similar. But there's a lot that's different, and a lot that they kind of took a new leap on. Like, they took a leap of faith. For one, killing Han Solo, which we talked a little bit about this in our episode 6 review, but that moment is my favorite moment in the movie. It is so...
Which is in the link below.
Which is in the link, in the description. There's a link in the description below.
There's a link description below for episode 6 and all of the Star Wars.
But it is so meaningful because Han humanizes Kylo Ren in a way that we don't see. Mm-hmm. But Kylo Ren, even though he feels it, and he feels it, you can see that he feels the love from Han Solo, he just kills him. And it's just like, wow. It's so powerful.
This is I love it when life imitates reality. Okay, that's two of the same things. When art imitates reality, and reality imitates art. And this has happened with Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is Han Solo. I don't know which one ends or which one begins, but I feel like they're the same person. Because when Ford first started Star Wars and Star Wars was huge, look at Star Wars in real life as the Force to Harrison Ford's. And so Han Solo to the Force. Remember how Han Solo was? He didn't believe in it. He didn't like it. And so when the original Star Wars came out, Harrison really didn't really care about Star Wars that much. He was like, "Oh, I'm here for the money," he'll joke about that. And really, he was that scoundrel back then. But now that he's older and when he's able to look back on his life and he's like, you know what, Star Wars gave me everything, and I appreciate this franchise. And you can tell that he's grown up as Harrison Ford and saying, I like Star Wars, like I get it. And I feel like with the Force to Han, it's kind of confusing, but with the Force and Han, he's like that. So he's like, it's true, all of it. And I feel like Harrison is talking to us and saying Star Wars is true, all of it. Star Wars is great. That's what it felt like. And I think that's exactly what happened there. That's why that was so perfect.
There was a lot of unseen progression, character development for Han Solo's character that we didn't get to see on screen, but you get to feel it in Episode 7. So there's some pretty good stuff in Episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
Some other things that I think it's interesting that they added were, I just want to talk about the lightsabers really quick. Lightsabers, I think, have never looked so good, mostly because of the CGI that we have nowadays.
Technology's progress.
Yeah, but those lightsabers look so good. They look like they have actually mass to them, and they look really nice. And that's why I'm really hoping for a better lightsaber duel or battle in the next episode. But besides that, there were some new Force abilities that we hadn't seen before. Mm-hmm. Kylo Ren stops a laser
in midair. That's cool. That shows up.
How cool is that? That is epic.
I think in a game, at least, like in the new Battlefront, I hope he pauses a blaster and then he force pulls someone through that blaster. That's how he kills people. And in a video game, that would be great. I thought he was going to do that to Poe at the beginning of. I thought he was going to pull him through the laser. Like, oh.
Glad he didn't.
And that was so cool. That would be cool. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't either. But that would be awesome if he did that in the next one. He would like take some poor rebel soldier and force pull them into the blaster.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah. I'm excited to see what they do with the Force in this next one, because I'm pretty sure they're going to go a little AWOL. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, we had a few little hints of some new Star Wars things, including the him like reading their minds. That was something a little weird, but something kind of new.
It was different, yeah.
It was different. Let's say different, because it's not like it hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like it hasn't happened before. It's just, it was different.
That to Cad Bane.
Yeah. But it was...
Season 2.
It was interesting, and I actually kind of liked what they did with the Force in this. And I'm really interested. I really want to see them just go AWOL with like just so many things, because the Force is so powerful. But we haven't really seen a whole lot yet. Mm-hmm. You know? I just want to go crazy. Because there's a game, The Force Unleashed, where you take down a Star Destroyer.
Did you know Luke can do that?
I hope he does. That'd be cool if he does.
They said that's been confirmed that he can pull a Star Destroyer from the sky. Yeah.
So there's a lot of really good aspects, and I think this was a good setup movie, even though there were some problems. And I didn't like Rey that much. Like I liked Rey. The way they introduced her was really good, and I think her character is very interesting. But she knows everything, and that bugs me so bad. Mm-hmm. Like, how does she know everything? Where did she learn everything?
Jedi mind trick, force pulling a lightsaber. Like Luke had to be in like the second. It was the second film for him to force, and he could barely do it too. And his life was being threatened. He force pulled it in that cave, finally did it, and then in episode 3 he finally learned the mind trick. So like all these things took Luke like 3 movies to do, and she's doing it in 1. So it's just like.
What? It was too fast. She just knew everything. It bugged me so bad. Rey's
great. She's a great character and easy on the eyes, and she's like the right mix of Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley together. Like
I agree.
Yeah, it's like she's great. I mean,
I think they casted her really well.
Star Wars, you did it again. Yeah. You stole my heart again. She's one of my new Hollywood crushes. Daisy Ridley.
I also really like that they're going a different route with this and having a female as the main character. And like that's who you're following.
That was cool.
Because
that's cool.
I'm not one who is like women's rights and stuff. I believe women should have rights, obviously, and I'm not against it. That sounded so bad. I'm not against women's rights. But I think it's
Truth
cool.
comes out.
I think it's cool just for the sheer fact of the interesting of it, of how women are being more like the main characters.
More central
Wonder
figures.
Woman was a good movie, And Gal Gadot did a great job. She was really good. And there's so many more interesting female characters.
I feel like Rey. I wish Rey was more like Wonder Woman. Like like Wonder Woman was just powerful enough, but she was still relatable.
Yeah.
You know, and that's our question for you guys. Do you believe that Rey is a relatable character, or is she just too hard to relate? Is she pretty much like Superman, where you're just so high and mighty that we're not worthy? You know, that's what it feels like. You know, and we just wonder. Make sure you let us know in the comments below what your answer. So if you like this video, we've got plenty more. We've done all the Star Wars, all the Skywalker saga. There's some prequel Star Wars. We got some classic Star Wars.
And we have the Last Jedi review coming out.
And we also just started We just started our social media account. So Movie Herd is now on Instagram and Facebook. Catch us there.